Welcome back to the Not Move podcast. Tonight we are going to be breaking down preseason football. We have 16 games over the next 4 days. I'm also going to be breaking down some of the latest news and injuries, contract extensions, pretty much everything NFL. I'm going to start it off with the three games that are going to be happening tonight. We have the Colts versus the Ravens. We have the Bengals versus the Eagles, and we have the Raiders versus the Seahawks. Um, AR5 is going to be starting at quarterback for the Colts tonight. Um, those are the three games tonight. You guys are looking forward to this little lineup we have tonight with preseason football. Anybody got any comments on the three games going down tonight?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
ready always for some football, man. Always. I
yeah,
don't care
I'm
what it is. Preseason, regular season, you know what I'm saying? We're here. It's season, baby.
as
Yeah,
the
I'm excited.
excuse me, my bad.
No, you can go most. My apologies.
Oh, so as the resident Seahawks fan, I'm very excited to see what these new rookies coming in, see how they look. Jalen Milrow, Troy Horton from Troy Horton, the receiver that we drafted. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm very excited to see what these guys do. Nick and Warrior too.
I was gonna say the same thing actually. Like I'm very excited to see Mike Green tonight. Same with Malachi Starks too. Two great, phenomenal rookies that we acquired from Baltimore. And I'm also excited to see the offensive lineman Emory Jones Jr., who is also from LSU. I'm actually excited to very much see him as well.
I'm kind of
I'm excited.
disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed
Apologies.
this weekend because, I'm excited for football, but I'm kind of disappointed because Will Howard suffered a broken bone in his hand, so he's out for like 3 to 4 weeks. So I'm not gonna be able to see him in action unless during the season it's a blowout or unless something happens to Aaron Rodgers. So I'm kind of disappointed, but I am happy for football. You know what I mean? Football is back, and we gonna be here, baby.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited. I'm excited. One, as the Eagles fan, I can't wait to see what Jahad Campbell does. Well, in practice, he's been a monster. He went from being with the second team to the first team, and he's calling plays already. So I want to see what he do, and I'm excited to see Jalen Hurts and the offense get going because they're actually playing. I don't know how long they're going to play, but I know they're going to play enough to me to just get a glimpse of what this offense can be. That's just the one. That's something I'm very excited to see what the offense could be with the new OC and what this defense do with the little pieces. What Makuba could do, and what Jahad could do. I'm very excited to see that.
I think the big storylines going into the games tonight are going to be obviously how is Anthony Richardson going to play in this first game. In the second game, the Bengals had there's reports coming out that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are going to be playing some of this game. So I don't know if it's going to be a first drive. I don't know if it's going to be a longer period of time. So that was one report I did get from Bengals, and then the other one is going to be Pete Carroll's return to his former team, the Seahawks, playing against his former team, the Seahawks. So those I think are the three big storylines for the game tonight. Any last words on this before I go to the three games on Friday night?
Jalen Milrow, please show me some promise.
All right. So the three games that are going to be on Friday is going to be the Lions versus the Falcons, the Browns versus the Packers, and the Commanders versus the Patriots. Kind of like the big storyline, I think, for these three slates of games. I think the biggest storyline that I saw this week was Shador Sanders is going to be starting and playing for the Browns. Anybody got any comments on Lions, Falcons, Browns, Packers? It's actually Browns,
Browns,
Panthers,
yeah.
and Commanders, Patriots. Sorry, Rocky.
I just want to talk about the Shador Sanders situation. I'm excited to see Shador play. I personally think that they're doing everything in their power not to give him the job, and what he does tonight will either ruin their plans or ruin their plans for him not to be a starter or prove to show the world why he was a fifth overall pick. However, I don't think he's going to be out there with the first string offensive line. I could be wrong, but I don't think they're going to set him up with first team guys to give him the reps with the first team.
Um,
Yeah,
so
as an
I
AFC
actually
North
agree.
member,
Yeah.
as an AFC North member, you know what I mean, black and yellow, I will never root for the Browns. However, I am rooting for Shador. I'm rooting that he shows off his talent and he showcases his talent on the grand stage during these preseason games, and he takes his position. And yes, like I said, I would never root for the Browns, but I am rooting for Shador.
I would say the biggest thing for him too is also his composure, especially lately with how he's been feeling lately with the whole selection, with the draft and everything
Yeah.
like that, with the whole drama disputes and him getting prank calls and shit. Like, I think at the end of the day too, it also goes with how is his body going to show out in these preseason games too.
so as the Georgia resident, right? I know a lot of people, a lot of Falcons fans, a lot of my family Falcons fans. They're very high on what Michael Penix can do and what this offense can do. They're also very high on the two rookies that they drafted, the two linebackers, James Pierce. He's been very active in practice, so I'm interested to see how the defense shifts in this kind of new era that they're kind of in, which with hiring Jeff Ulbrich and such. And I'm excited to see what this offense can be because I think this offense can be very potent.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
All right, so I want to move on to Saturday's slate of games. Saturday we have 8 games going on. We have the Giants versus the Bills. We have the Cowboys versus the Rams. We have the Titans versus the Buccaneers. We have the Chiefs versus the Cardinals. We have the Texans versus the Vikings. We have the Steelers versus the Jaguars. We have the Jets versus the Packers. And we have the Broncos versus the 49ers. 8 games on Saturday. That's going to be a lot of football to watch. I know it's just preseason. I know I'm looking forward to seeing my team play. Anything on any of these 8 slates of games going on Saturday?
So I've been saying all season a sentence that's probably never been said before. I'm high on Jalen Hyatt. I think he can be unlocked under this new regime. Better quarterback play. I think he can be unlocked, and I'm also excited for what Cam Scatterbull can do. And of course, the entire front seven has been very very potent as far as talent wise. So I'll hand it to Ja after this. But yeah, I think that could be a very good team this year. I'll hand it off to you, Ja.
So, as the New York resident, even though I will never root for the Giants, I am very interested to see where I don't know how we want you to play, but Jackson Dart. As we all know, I was very high on Jackson Dart going into the draft. I called him getting drafted by the Giants. So now I just want to see how it all plays out. Also, I love Cam. We all know how much I love Cam Scatterable, and it pains me that they're both playing for the Giants. But yeah, yeah.
That's hilarious.
I mean, overall, both offensive and
All right.
defensively, there's a lot of additions you can see out of New York that I'm excited to see, especially out of Abdul Carter. I'm excited to very much see Abdul Carter rule that edge.
They drafted my favorite 3 players from the draft. That's the crazy part.
Yeah.
It happens, man.
All right. So I'd like to hit on the last 2 games going on Sunday. It's going to be the Dolphins versus the Bears, and it's going to be the Saints versus the Chargers. Um, we got a lot of news coming out, and I'll kind of lead into some of that going into this next segment. Did anyone want to hit real quick on Dolphins, Bears, Saints, Chargers?
So Saints Chargers. Quinn Johnson. I want to see his hands improve because I think his depth perception, seems very off. Like it seems like the ball get there before he realizes it. And
Yeah.
of course, we got Tyler Show on the other side. We got to see what he does from New Orleans. I know a few New Orleans fans that's very high on him. So we just got to see what that roster does.
Yeah, his depth perception does worry me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, same. For some reason, I think his route running is good. I think when we look at an all around game, outside of hands, he's a pretty decent receiver. And I don't know what it is. It's like It could be what you're saying. Also, it's like it's more or less like he tries to flash his hands instead of trying to make sure he catches the ball. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Yeah,
that's an interesting outlook on it.
I'm interested in seeing what Chicago does with the new regime out there, Caleb Williams and stuff.
Yeah, how big works with that offense. That's a good sight to see. Should
Yeah.
I hope Caleb shows me something. That's all I hope. I just want something showed.
I just wonder if, with it not being his regime and the people that drafted him, I know it's the same GM, but the GM hasn't really shown faithfulness to quarterbacks/coaches. So is it going to be a repetitive cycle as what has happened already? The personalities I think could clash out there. Dude's got a bad attitude. First year coach. I don't know how long that relationship could last.
And also, how tolerant would he be as a first year head coach of his franchise quarterback having horrible attitude problems?
Right. Afraid for Caleb if they can't protect him. Yeah, see, they should be able to. They addressed a lot of issues on that offensive line this year. I mean, they got Tooney from the Chiefs, and that's just one of the guys. But
got Drew Dalman from the Falcons.
Drew, they got Dalton. They added the miss where their team was lacking in terms of offensive line depth, where offensive line, that's where they addressed. The thing is, though, I want to see, even though it's preseason, I want to see less hero ball from Caleb. I want to see him sit in the pocket and make timely throws, not just hold on to the ball for too long. I just want to see him. I just want to see development from year one to year two. That's all I ask for.
I mean, that takes a lot of chemistry, though, and it's going to take a lot of time for him to build that as well.
You guys, I really want to share this. I'm going to do this because they got AR. He's getting 8 up right now. I don't even think
Dude, the defense for Baltimore
3rd
is
and 19
crazy right now.
It's 3rd and 19.
We just got
Golly.
back-to-back sacks.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I just this offensive line, whatever.
Oh shit! Great return.
It could. I'm pretty sure it's the starting offensive line, but it could be a mix of both
Bro.
backups and
My bad. I'm also watching the game live while doing this as well.
That's Daniel Jones coming up. Oh no, he's getting off the field.
Yeah, I think he just in there because they had AR right before that.
Yeah, I think he's about to go in now.
There, instead of blitzing him though, he's actually been in more coverage schemes too, which is actually really good to see.
Are we talking about Mike Green?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
They're
I think he
having
was a
curl
big
flex
steal.
situations.
I think he was a huge steal in the draft.
Oh my god, look at this guy go!
Yeah, no, this return is insane. That's why I was like, oh my.
That was nice return. That was nice return.
But what is the game on?
They got it on NFL Network Plus. I know that.
Yeah, this is on NFL Network.
In other words, I can't watch it on my game. That's fun to know.
Ajabo. That name sounds. Didn't he play with Aiden Hutchinson at Michigan? Or am I crazy?
Oh,
Ajabo, the dude who just got the sack. He played with Hutchinson.
Ajabo. Wouldn't be able to tell you definitively 100% if he did or not. But y'all want moving on to the next topic?
Yeah, so I kind of just wanted to break down kind of recent news that's been going on in the NFL. I think I'm going to start with current injuries. The Chargers offensive tackle, Rashawn Slater, who just signed a 4-year, $113 million extension, was carted off the field today with a left leg injury. I know that the Chargers are definitely locked into running the ball, and losing a big key piece like their offensive lineman, they're one of their best offensive linemen, is definitely going to hurt this run game. You guys' opinion on this injury?
So sources say that it's a torn patella tendon and out for the season, which is a huge hit to that offensive line and that offense in general. Because as we know, they're not really potent with firepower, and having that offensive line to protect Justin Herbert as a quarterback really helped them out. And as you spoke on earlier, the run game, right? So how does that look now that he's gone? So that's a big hit.
So
But
it's always a big hit to lose in my opinion, your best offensive lineman, whether that is anywhere on the offensive line. That's a huge hit. Not only
Oh yeah.
that, he just
that's
got paid. He just got paid, and
Yep.
he is the heartbeat of that offensive line because he's the only staple for years and years and years. So that's a heartbreaker. And if it truly is he's out for the season, that's a big hit. And I don't know how they rebound off of that.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say that. And another thing too is also the response and how some of those younger guys, those second string, those third string, how are they gonna go about that too? Are they gonna stay disciplined,
Yeah.
or are they gonna turn out mediocre? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, very.
So it comes with a lot when it comes to having to rely on a guy where you're either just running the ball or you're trying to really get the ball far downfield because that's
Right.
mostly what Justin's bag is.
Yeah. It straight says he's out for season.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Terrible tendon.
Especially like when you are trying to have your solidify yourself into having a really decent offensive line because before like before all this shit, they actually projected to have a very decent offensive lineman going into next year. I've been hearing a lot of good things about the Chargers offensive line. I haven't heard anything bad this year. So I mean now this just kind of solidifies my point. I mean, if you don't have a great offensive lineman, you're not really going to be successful no matter what you do about it. No matter what skill position do you add, if you don't have at least one or two good, really good guys that know how to communicate around that group, it's not going to cut it.
Right.
All right, I just want to hit on some more notable injuries. 49ers running back Isaac Guerrero will miss a few weeks with a shoulder injury. I think this is a big deal. I don't know how much this is going to linger into the regular season, but with the insured, we don't know what Christian McCaffrey is going to be.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey could come back to form and he could be one of the best running backs in the league. But, if I was a betting man, I'd say not. And when you have Isaac Guerrero banged up and you let Jordan Mason walk, I feel like this is a big hit to the 49ers because you
Absolutely.
want that guy to be healthy.
Yep.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think you hit on every point perfectly. Of course, they let Jordan Mason walk. He's a Minnesota Viking, and as we've known, Chris McCaffrey to deal with so many injuries, you're going to need that depth. Even in situations where Chris McCaffrey has to come out the game, it's going to be big for a guy like Garendo to come in and still produce, and for him to not be on that field, then you're relying on super depth, which you might not have or might not have the luxury to have.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all just said. Like, I mean, CSC is at training camp, but you can't put any stock in that because he competed in and participated in every single aspect of training camp last season. So you really can't put too much stock in him even being there. Then it's an injury where like Kawhi Leonard or Joel Embiid, it can flare up at any time. It's not an injury that it can flare up any time, so that becomes a problem as well. With a team who lost Debo, who lost a lot of guys, and defensively, the offense will had to been a strong point of that team. And losing a guy like that who can potentially replace CMC is a big blow.
Yeah, they need to figure something out for that with CMC. That's just that injury. There's no telling when it's gonna flare up. How long he's gonna be out. He's missed quite a bit already in his career. So
Yeah, huge hit.
All right. Another injury I want to hit on tonight is Bills wide receiver Khalil Shakir is week to week with a high ankle sprain. This is Josh Allen's probably his top target going into next season and last season. So I think with the insurity of his health, I think this definitely puts the Bills back. Anybody got anything on this one?
Just real quick, I don't put too much stock in it only because it's week to week. It's not like a multiple thing. It's a high ankle sprain. While it can linger and hurt him, feel like he'll be fine for the season, so I don't see it as too big of an injury.
As somebody that's experienced high ankle sprains personally and with their own quarterback, them things tend to flare up, man. They don't just go away. Like I said, I mean, it could be a week to week basis, but I mean, just depending on the severity and players, man, if they know that your ankle's messed up, I mean, they didn't take it easy on Mahomes' ankles, so what makes you think they're gonna take it easy on these guys? On Herbert,
Yeah. So if
Yeah,
you
no, some of them are going to get beat up, man. You just got to learn how to deal with it. That's just a part of the game.
yeah.
if you asking me to put it on a scale of 1 to 10, I might put it like a 6.8 because of his play style, right? He's one of those quick twitch guys. He's a wide receiver. He's not a quarterback. So it can be week to week, but then his play style, it may interfere with his play style. It could flare up, as JB said a few moments ago. So I would put about like a 6.8.
All right. Last injury I want to hit on happened on Wednesday. J.C. Horn of the Panthers was involved in a car accident, and he missed practice yesterday, and I believe he missed practice again today. Obviously, he is their best defensive player, and I think that getting in a car wreck is not a good deal, especially I guess it came at a good time because it's not during the regular season. But we'll have to monitor his injury and see if he is actually going to play in this preseason game. He's probably not going to play in it anyways, but I kind of want to monitor this one, and because I don't know the severity of the car accident.
Yeah. So it's one of those injuries. Of course, it's one of those injuries. Like we don't have too much information on it yet. We're going to have to what else comes out. So yeah, it's just one of those things you got to monitor close, see how it affects him.
Yeah, pretty much everything I just said. Whenever he comes to practice, you just watch him closely and examine what, and then that's when you'll determine. As of right now, we're not going to know any much. We're not going to know much. For all we know, it could have been minor, and he could have been perfectly fine. That's what I hope happened, and that's not a serious thing. But yeah, pretty much it.
All right. Anybody else want to hit on any of this last little bit of topics, or can we just kind of move on to the next subject?
Derek Brown is the Panthers' best defensive player. Thank you very much.
I like
So,
J.C. Horn. I like J.C. Horn a lot. I don't
there's an
know. Maybe
injury
I'm
I don't.
biased.
There's an injury I wanted to touch up on. CJ Gardner Johnson got hurt, and he went for a tackle. I can't remember who the receiver was, but he went out for a tackle, and he ended up arriving in pain. From what I've seen, all reports are showing that it is a severe right leg injury. They're not saying what it was as of right now. All I know is he couldn't put any pressure on his leg, which is very concerning.
Oh yeah.
Especially when you give a guy that you drafted in the first round not too long ago, and you gave him picks for a guy that you thought can help your defense move on to potentially the best defense in the league. That's very concerning.
100% agree. 100% agree.
Yeah, I did too.
All right, guys. I want to kind of hit on some of the current contracts that just happened this week. Kyron Williams of the Rams, the running back, he signed a 3-year deal for $33 million, and he has $23 million guaranteed. Do you think this was a smart signing by the Rams? What do you guys think? Is this good for the Rams?
I mean,
go ahead, JB.
Only time will tell, really. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I guess so. I mean, he's been a one of the better ones, right, in the league recently. So I mean, I wouldn't say it's horrible. It's not bad. I mean, yeah, it works. I mean, it's what they're doing. It's what they've been doing. I just think they may have been able to. I don't know. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I'm all for locking up your players. So they lock up the young running back. They have a guy Devontae Adams. They have a guy in Puka Nacua. Just lock up your team so you don't have these contract disputes later on that we're experiencing now with other players.
Right. Yep, they did it the right way.
Yeah, they did it the right way.
I just
think
seen
that
something. The Raiders are up there right now with in terms of landing McCorn.
Mm, interesting.
so to me, it's a yes and no situation with the whole signing him. It's yes. I think yes. You have to get your players 10 times out of 10. You always get your players. The no part is when a guy like him, he has fumble problems, but it was mainly at the end of the season, right? My whole thing is, when you're giving him this money, you're banking on him being one of the top 5 guys in the next couple of seasons. Doing it, that's just how I feel, and I don't think he will be. He has the opportunity, probably be like right there in the mix, but I don't see him as literally one of the top 5 guys where I feel like paying him what warrants. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think his contract reflects that though. I don't think his contract is guaranteed top 5 running back money. I think he's well within the market for where he is as far as he ranks on the top 10.
Hmm.
That part, yes. I'm talking about paying him this early. Normally, typically, when you see running backs, they go into their final years, everything like that. Paying him early suggests that you think he's one of the top guys and you need to lock him up now. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, like I said earlier, I think everybody should lock up their guys early. The earliest you can get them, the Eagles did the same thing. The earliest you can get them locked up, the better it is.
Yeah, because then invest for more later on. That's actually true. Because then when you're thinking
Mhm.
about investing for future, especially when you're talking about younger players, it's definitely going to mean much more.
True, true.
yeah, I agree.
We'll just
That's one
remember
thing I'm
this
glad
when
the
Jared
Chiefs do.
Verse and them is up for contract. I apologize,
You're
JD.
good, you're good, you're good. I was just saying that's one thing I'm glad the Chiefs do is they sign early or they'll that way within a couple of years that way we can get the most or we'll just extend after that contract so we get that full deal before they acquire more value than what we value that smartest way to build a team I believe.
Agreed. Very much so agreed. Pay your guys early so you don't have to worry about it later and you don't be in a situation like Scary Terry and Micah.
Exactly.
All right. So next point I want to hit on another big signing this week. Keenan Allen signed back with the Chargers to a 1-year deal. I'm guessing this is his curtain call and his last hurrah, and he wanted to go back to the team that he started with. Do you think this moves the needle with the Chargers and the receiving core? Do you think this was a good or bad signing by the Chargers guys?
Uh,
I
this
mean, what has it really done? What has he really done over there besides sit on, in the ice tub being injured? I know he's done some things, but in the past few years, all I can remember is Keenan Allen and what's his face is always being injured, bro.
Michael Williams.
Yeah, Mike Williams, just injured. Something's always wrong. Hamstrings, something with their ankles. Their health to me is always seemed in question. Best ability is availability.
100%.
I mean, I think it gives him a little bit of familiarity, his blanket, you know what I'm saying? Because he doesn't, I mean, he's got him and Lad, worked out really well last year. But, what else? And we've talked about that with especially the McLaurin deal. What else does he have? Nothing. He didn't have anything. So I
That's
guess
it.
I like it,
I mean, it's okay. I think it was more of a panic after Williams went down to go get a receiver. Where I feel like they should have just stuck with the young guys that they haven't developed. See what you have in Trey Harris. Give you have Larry McConkey, and you still believe it or not, Quinn is there. Whether we feel how we feel about him, he's there, and he's a guy who can get open, and probably he's going to end up playing a whole lot because I don't see Keenan Allen. He hasn't been healthy in the last couple of years. I don't see him actually having a resurgence, being healthy and being the number one. So it's just, I think it was a panic move more or less when one of the receivers went down, other than like a real solid dynamic. I need a receiver move.
Yeah, this is the equivalent like that Paul Pierce farewell tour. Like he just having a farewell tour. So that's what it is. So yeah,
Damn,
he's
damn, Draymond.
yeah, cap him up for him. He's been a great wide receiver for a while, but yeah, this is his curtain call. So great wishes to him.
All right. Next thing I want to hit on is four-time All-Pro defensive tackle Cameron Hayward of the Steelers. He hasn't practiced fully yet this summer due to contract negotiations. This is a coach's guy. He's getting up there in age. Apparently, he's wanting to get paid more because of the market. We'll see what happens with Cameron Hayward when the Steelers moving forward. Do you guys see this being a concern moving forward?
Common, you want to go first?
I want to hear Coach thoughts first.
It's definitely a concern because not only is he a four-time All-Pro, not only his leadership and things like that on the field, but it's his presence in the locker room. Is his he's captain of that team. You know what I'm saying? He was voted their man of the year. You know what I mean? And he's bigger. His presence there is way bigger than even his production on the field. You know what I mean? If I'm saying it correctly, we need Cameron Hayward, right? So yeah, that's something to be very concerned about. However, I'm not too concerned because I'm pretty sure Cam knows that at the age, I believe he's 35, about to be 36. He knows at his age he's not going to get but so much, especially for his position. So I feel as though that Dan Rooney will. I feel as though that Dan Rooney will, and Khan will. You know what I mean? We'll get the numbers right. I think, to be honest with you, I think it's the same thing as the T.J. Watt situation, to where as though it's not really the numbers, it's the guaranteed money that we just got to work out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure once they get the guaranteed money worked out, you know what I mean, he'll be on the field.
Yeah, for me,
the good thing is he's there.
Yeah, 100%.
He might not be practicing, but he's there.
Yeah.
So that's the one good thing. He is there.
Yeah, for me, I want to know how this affects T.J. Watt because, as we know, T.J. Watt has been a great edge rusher, outside linebacker for I don't know how long, but that whole time he had a guy in Cam Hayward who's been quietly one of the best defensive tackles in the league, and I say quietly as in he doesn't get the same praise that defensive tackles get. Like you hear the Jalen Carters of the world and the Chris Jones of the world, but Kevin Hayward has been consistent for my entire time watching football, pretty much from I can remember. So, and especially I watched a lot of Steelers games last year because they had Russell Wilson, and so I'm watching these games and it's like, yeah, T.J. Watt's doing his thing, but Cam Hayward is going ham out of the three pick. So I'm interested to see how worst case scenario, he's not there. Worst case scenario. And how that affects TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith on the other side, how that affects the defense as a whole. That's what I'm interested in seeing.
All right. I want to move on to another player that I think is a bigger concern for another team. James Cook is actually in a hold-in situation, and it's underway. He's in uniform right now, but he is not practicing. So this is another guy that is not in full participation, but he is there. So he's showing up so he don't get fined, but he's not fully practicing. How big of an impact is it going to be for the Bills and not having James Cook?
I'm going to keep this short. I don't see it as as big of a concern as probably everybody else would. For the simple fact that when you look at it, he only had 1,300 total yards. Talking about in the air and on the ground, he only had 1,000 yards rushing and 16 total touchdowns, give or take a few. where it's like the Buffalo Bills are looking more or less as he's replaceable, where he's more or less that he's replaceable, other than, oh no, we need this guy personally. And I think what Williams got is around what he should get. I don't know if he's asked for more. I don't know if he's asked for less, but he should be around that number if he's going to get paid.
I just want to give an update. Somebody just got carted off the field, and it was pretty bad in Baltimore on the field.
Bihal Keon, I think his name was.
Yeah, it looked pretty
Corner.
It looked pretty gruesome. I mean, they were pretty upset. Some of the players were.
Wow.
And also, I just seen something as well.
Prayers up to him.
I seen across the ticker Rashee Rice is dealing with a knee problem right now in Kansas City.
Wow.
Yeah. It's day to day. As well as ESPN president Jimmy Petraro said that the network will no longer broadcast simultaneous Monday Night Football games per The Athletic. Overlapping Monday night doubleheaders have taken place since the 2021 season. Changes will likely to be made this season. They may have to wait until next season.
Oh, we finally get a Monday night game and then a break in between instead of them both being on the same time.
Yeah.
Well, doubleheader is back to back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not going to do no more back to back Monday nights. Period.
Oh, they could have just rearranged the time and made it more accessible instead of. Oh man, it is what it is.
Yeah. So to kind of hit back on the main topic, this makes no sense. James Cook has been a very important weapon for Josh Allen in the last couple years, and especially since the turn of the regime where they start running the ball more. He was very productive for you last season. Why is he not signed? Who else do you have to sign? Nobody else is of importance. Who else are you trying to sign for you to not give him a contract? This makes no sense.
Well, that's the thing is Buffalo. I was talking to Bro. Buffalo, he brought some of my attention. They don't re-sign their running backs. You look at CJ Spiller, didn't resign. Marshawn Lynch, they didn't resign.
Devin Singletary,
they didn't resign.
Singletary,
William Dennis, they did not resign. Singletary, they've never. I think he said since OJ was the last time that they've re-signed a running back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not only that,
So you look at it, the faith, the loyalty between Buffalo and running backs, it's not there. So I think he's kind of barking up the wrong tree. Now, I do agree with you, Moss, that he's a big production in that team. Like, I mean, they need him. They need a partial running game to take the burden off of Allen throwing the ball all the time and him taking off and running all the time, because you can't have a quarterback running all the time, dude. I mean, he's not going to last. Something could happen. Something could happen. I mean, we've seen last year Mahomes threw himself and accidentally hurt Rashee Rice. It could go the opposite way. You know? Bengals up 7-0.
I don't think if we remember correctly, here's the thing. Buffalo, I would say, was known for paying their running backs. Remember, Buffalo was the reason for the Emmitt Smith holdout when they signed Thurman Thomas. They were the reason. That was because, and remember, they had just beat them in the Super Bowl, and then Thurman had got the big contract. And Emmett was like, well, you just gave him that contract, and my team just beat him in the Super Bowl, and I won more. So, cause I had asked the Buffalo fan, I asked Robo about that. You know what I mean? About like, yo, y'all pay Thurman. Why won't y'all pay James? And he basically said they don't look at James as a piece to the puzzle to their team like they did Thurman.
Yes.
I mean, and it's easy to say, and it's easy to tell that when you look at, they constantly took him off the field.
You know what I'm saying?
So if you look at them last season, they constantly took him off the field in situations where he should be on the field. They played Ty, I think it was Ty Johnson. I can't remember Ryan. I think it was Ryan and Ty Johnson. They consistently put them on the field in situations where you would want your number one guy on the field. They got a lot more touches than they should, and they outright ran Josh Allen a lot more than they should have. Josh Allen had 500 yards. He was the second leading rusher with 500 yards, had almost 100 carries.
Yeah,
That's not
ridiculous.
That's not conducive for normal quarterbacks. I mean,
No.
you have Lamar Jackson, who's an anomaly, but that's Lamar Jackson. He's conditioned to do so. Josh Allen has not been conditioning himself to run that much his entire life like Lamar Jackson had.
And
Right.
he's a
And I think,
tougher runner.
say that again?
He's a tougher runner, so it's going to his body a lot more than the Lamar Jackson who's going to make you miss.
Exactly. So he's dealing with a lot more contact, which personally, to me, doesn't make sense. Why not make sure you lock down James Cook, and then on top of that, use him more, utilize him in the way that you're supposed to. He had 1,000 yards rushing when he easily could have had more than 1,000 yards rushing. Easily, he could have had 1,200 or more easily, but he wasn't able to because they were taking him out of the game and they're running Josh Allen a shit ton more.
Yeah.
All right. So last thing I want to hit on is just real quickly is Scary Terry. Commanders head coach Dan Quinn said that Scary Terry trade request is not a distraction. Whether that's true or not, that's crazy because everyone knows that it's distraction. Micah Parsons still has not spoken to Jerry Jones. So it looks like those two things we have not really settled on for contracts wise. Uh, Either one you guys want to hit on before I move on to the last subject?
I'm gonna talk because I've said this in live before. It's not a distraction. It's not, but it's on the fact that it is just simply a strategic move to get paid. You threaten to get traded, 9 times out of 10 you don't get traded. You stay to the team. It happens majority of the time. So like I get where he's saying it's not a distraction. You're also supposed to say it's not a distraction so that people aren't worrying and your team isn't looking at it. So that is a smart move by him making. Also, the situation with Jerry Jones is more or less his agent isn't talking to him. He doesn't want to do dealings with an agent. For some reason, Jerry Jones wants to do dealings with the player and not the agent, which you're not supposed to do in the NFL. If the player has an agent, you're supposed to deal with their agent, not the player.
Yeah.
So that's the whole situation they're in right now.
So I was thinking about it. I seen this coming because if y'all remember when they were kind of talking about contracts a little bit way before this, David Mulugeta, I believe his name is, was heavily disrespected by Jerry. Jerry Jones. He can draft out the wazoo, right? He's great at drafting. But when it comes to signing these guys, he waits to the 11th hour, cost himself $10 million, and then now the roster looks like it is now, where you have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons in a bag of chips on your roster, right? So this he's going to wait till it's 11:59, Michael Parsons, and he might not be able to sign him because he might ask for a lot of money because of the situation that he is in now.
And he still can do it because Micah still at this current time isn't asking for. He's not asking for 45. He's just asking for what the market is. So you can honestly drill the contract how you want to, give him the same guarantee as TJ, and he'll be fine.
But here's the
All you have
catch
to do
20.
is just, huh?
Here's the catch 22. If you sign him, what else money do you have to sign anybody else?
What money do you have to sign anybody else now?
you have a lot more than without him on your payroll. So that's the 22. It's like, do you prioritize Michael, excuse me, or prioritize building more diversity in the roster? How much do you value Michael essentially?
I get what you're saying, right? However, when you break it down and look at it, in terms of defense, he's all you have.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you get rid of the best thing on your defense, what do you think happens to your defense?
It gets
It
worse.
becomes exactly. It becomes significantly worse. We seen what it was without Micah last season, and we seen what it was with Micah last season. In those 6 games, Micah and Parsons was arguably one of, if not the best, one of the best
Defensive play.
players on defensive players in the whole entire league. And you're risking that. You want to give that up because why? Because you don't want to deal with his agent. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like logically, it doesn't make sense.
That's
Like
why That's why I spoke on what I said earlier. When you lock your guys up early, you lock Dak Prescott up early, you lock CD Lamb up early, so you're in a position where you lock Michael Parsons up early, where you're not in a situation where you're costing yourself millions upon millions of dollars letting other guys get signed.
Yeah, but the problem isn't even Dak. The problem didn't start with Dak. The problem started with Ezekiel Elliott.
That's 100%
That's
correct.
contract.
All right.
Did that. Once you did that, it kind of you've been fighting and trying to flex the cap ever since.
Yeah. So hand it back to
You
you, A-Train. Back to you.
All right. So
Back to you, Adrian.
last thing I wanted to hit on tonight, guys, is Jordan Addison suspended 3 games for the substance abuse policy. Um, the games that he's going to miss is the Bears, the Falcons, and the Bengals. Now, I read a little bit more into this and what happened. Apparently, he was found passed out behind the wheel, drunk, and he was sleeping in his car, and it was apparently by the LA airport. So it's just crazy to me that these pro athletes, they get paid millions of dollars and they can't take an Uber, or I don't know what happened in this situation. How this is going to affect the Vikings is, I think it could definitely hurt them in the long run, especially if they get a slow start. And JJ McCarthy's going to need that second weapon. Anybody want to hit on this last subject before we finish the episode and watch football?
Hey, Justin Jefferson could go for 2K this season. That's
No. So in all seriousness, though, kind of what you said, JJ McCarthy, he's coming in as a rookie. You want to usher him in with the smoothest transition possible. Your second receiver making mistakes like this is not good for your rookie, essentially your rookie quarterback, essentially, right? Because he's never played an NFL game, so he's essentially a rookie, right? Red shirt, essentially. Yeah, that's not good because you want him to have all his weapons. And what happens when you get into situations where Justin Jefferson is your only source of offense, right? That's not good for a rookie. That's not good for a rookie to go through, right? And we know KOC can scheme up out the wazoo, but at the same time, you have to be smarter than that. So it could affect him bad. It could affect him very bad.
good news is he wasn't driving. He was asleep at the wheel. That's the best news I heard. That he wasn't in active driving, recklessly driving on the road. He was too intoxicated to drive. That's
Yeah.
the best I've
I
heard
mean,
about the whole
on the bright
situation.
side though, you do get to see who's coming next up at the end of the day.
Yeah. That's a silver lining in a tornado take. But
Especially now. I mean, I would rather something like that go on now because then you can actually prep for it. You know what I'm saying? You actually can rebuild and actually try to find the best options.
All right, fellas, that's pretty much all I got.
We kind of losing right now.
all right.
All right, yeah. We getting in here?
You what? What up?
Yeah, shout out to the Not Move podcast. We'll be with you guys again on. Believe we're doing an episode. We're doing a fantasy episode. We're doing a Ravens episode tomorrow. JB, what other episodes do we have? Am I missing some?
You have an
Um,
Eagles episode coming soon with me and Robert.
Okay.
Yep, we got Baltimore we got the Ravens with Tinez and
Yep,
Bag
me
tomorrow.
and
We got a couple more. I know Betters will be doing an episode here probably this weekend. With baseball and sports betting. I know we got some UFC coming up, wrestling this week. Tap in. The sky's the limit. I know we got some guys from across the pond. We're gonna be integrating and bringing in here one of the newest members of Not Moved. Hitting on some soccer and maybe we can get him and zip zap together and talk them Giants. That'd be good, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's always content coming out, y'all. I mean, we're everywhere. Spotify, check us out.
All right, guys. We will see you guys this weekend. Everybody have a good, safe weekend and have fun watching these 16 games. I'm gonna start watching right now.
Yeah.
All right,
Not
And
fellas.
moved
as
podcast.
God
always,
bless. Shout out, not
uh,
moved.